Hello again, welcome back to my channel. I'd like to start by saying thank you very much for your support and your interest in my videos. Hopefully you'll be inspired to go out and photograph wildlife. If you're a novice, or you're a complete beginner, or you're a photographer looking for another genre, I'm hoping that this has inspired you, and I've taken you on a few stories along the way. Now, one story that I really would like to share with you is my passion for photographing otters. These are otters in the wild, starting off with my very first otter on Lake Bassenthwaite, up in the Lake District, where I was actually sat in a hide photographing ospreys on their nesting site. And while I was sat there, my very first otter swam by, and I will never ever forget that experience. So much so, we was actually on holiday in the caravan up at the Lake District, and we decided the next day to move on up to the Isle of Mull. So pulling the caravan for 7 hours from the Lake District up to Oban, we jumped on the ferry, and then our venture started. And I've shown that in a previous video, but I'd like to share with you some of the images and experiences that I've had. It's really nice to see one otter on Mull, but on this particular day to see a mother with 3 cubs, that's unknown. And then a dog otter appeared, so that made 5 in one go, and then a mother with a cub swam by, making it a total of 7 in one go. Now, that was completely unknown. What a day that was. But it didn't stop there, because then things unfolded. The only problem now was that the dog otter had spotted the mum with the 3 cubs and was going over to them. The mum with the 1 cub, she decided just to swim on. In the meantime, the mum with the 3 cubs knew that the dog otter coming along would spell danger, so she decided to take the 3 cubs and hide them in the weed. She knew that if the dog otter was to get near the cubs, he would kill them, because if they're not his cubs, he'll kill them so he can mate then with the female so he can have his own cubs. The only problem was the dog otter had followed them in, so she then turned round and attacked him, and she put up a fantastic fight. So much so, he decided enough's enough and went off to lick his wounds. The only thing left for him to do was to go and mark his territory, stamp his manhood and fight another day. But the whole thing was fabulous to watch, and it's probably something I'll never see again. It's thoroughly enjoyable. Nice and early one morning, I pitched myself on some rocks on the shoreline and waiting for the otter to appear from round the headland. And sure enough, as he appeared, he looked at me, and then I looked at him. He couldn't quite make out what I was. I was stood there with my camouflage gear right over. I've got my gloves on, I've got my headgear on, and I'm stood there not making a single movement. After which he got a little bit confident, and he ended up coming in onto one of the rocks. Now, once he was on the rock, what they do is they rub themselves in the seaweed to aerate, and obviously dry themselves, but to aerate their fur, because the air in the fur gives them the insulation. So after that, he got really confident, he kept looking at me, and then he decided to have a bit of a snooze. And he fell asleep, and halfway through his sleep, wake up, take a look at me, and then nod back off, and off he went to sleep. And then, after his sleep, he ended up posing for the perfect shot. Absolutely wonderful. The shot I've been after for a long time. Then he decided to pop back in, he was hungry, and he got himself some lunch. Otters aren't that easy to spot, so what I recommend you do is drive round the loch side and take a look out in the water. About 15 to 20 metres out, you'll often then find an otter who's hunting. So it'll be going down for about 30 seconds, coming back up, And one thing you've got to watch for is when they come back up and see what they've caught. Now there's some things that they'll actually eat while they're still out in the water. Things like butterfish, which is one of their favourites, they will eat out in the water and then continue diving and hunting for more. The one thing that you need to look out for is when they're swimming back into land and you can see them bobbing up and down, and they've obviously got something bigger, so they need to bring it out onto the side and eat it. And there's times you won't believe what they come on land with. It's absolutely incredible. Sometimes they'll stay in the margins along the shoreline, hunting in the seaweed. It's really interesting to see this. When I was with this particular otter, I spent an hour with it just coming up in front of me as I'm walking behind, and it was continually splashing around in the weed. It was absolutely fabulous to watch, and of course it just kept finding butterfish, eating those and carrying on. In the main, when photographing otters, you really need the wind in your face, you need to be hunkered right down, and you need to be quite a way off, allowing the otter to come to you. Now the reasons for that is, number one, they have got a fantastic sense of smell, so if you had the wind on your back, they'd soon smell you and they'd go, they'd just disappear. They haven't got very good eyesight, but they can see a silhouette of you, so that's why you need to hunker down. Also, your movement. They can see your movement, so once they see that, off they go again. Bear that in mind. And also, their hearing is excellent, so slightest noise and I guarantee they'll be off, so quiet as a mouse. One reason why I've been successful over the years in photographing otters and getting these images is because I treat it seriously with the camouflage. So as you can see from this picture, I'm covered with my face, my hands, and I'm always really still. I don't move. That's one of the biggest things. You may notice in the picture that I'm wearing a walkie-talkie. Now this is invaluable. I'm very lucky because my wife obviously comes with me all the time, and what she does, she'll stay at a distance with the binoculars and she'll contact me when the otter has popped up again or come onto land in a different place to where I'm sitting, which means I can relocate and then wait for the otter to approach me to get the shot.